My name is Aneta Malmberg, like I was presented, and I have almost 19 years of experience of deploying Dynamics Now operations. So yes, we are now unifying Dynamics AX and CRM, but also, as you see here, we are actually presenting the all components of Microsoft Intelligent Cloud all in one place. And this is, like I said, 19 years of my experience, but I'm very excited about this change, this transformation, because it's giving us so much more functionality and more features than we know before. So you see, we have Office 365, Azure IoT, Power BI. We also have Cortana Intelligence, and I do believe that all of you already heard a lot about it. But let's just take a snapshot of what it is. Imagine that you or your customer already working with SharePoint, Dynamics AX, Operations Now, maybe Power BI. And you know also how difficult it is to flip around different applications. Leave one, maybe do some job there, some tasks, and go to another application. Imagine that now we are actually changing this, and you can actually quote your customer directly from Microsoft Outlook. And you can update your quote, and the data is automatically updating the database in Dynamics Operations and also in Sales. This is a huge change and a very strong message about the productivity that we actually providing with the new Business Cloud components. We also have the Power BI, and imagine how it is to work within your tasks, daily tasks, and don't need to leave the application in order to understand how I'm doing today, what is the situation of my company within the area that I'm working with. This is also a very strong message to our customer as well. But one of the things that are very important, which pop up now and as a part of the component of Business Cloud, this is actually the Power Apps. So let's see what the Power Apps are actually. You know that the data is becoming the new currency today. Our customer, they are creating more and more of it, and all the organizations out there, they have actually one important task: how to transform this data into intelligence in order to give them actions and also outcomes. Well, within this Microsoft 365, the new approach, we are actually announcing the new process, delivering the new process as a service. So what it is, you should say. Imagine that you have the sales apps, which was part of the CRM before. And you can quote your customer, you can get the customer with ordinary standard prices, but actually this is all you can do. Imagine that you add the operation apps to this. Suddenly you have a totally different functionality that you can provide your customer with, because you have suddenly insight into trade agreement in operations. You also can provide the tax regulation rules, and also you can plan much more efficiently, because you have also visibility in your inventory on hand. So this is actually the first process that we are delivering with help of Power Apps, which is called Prospect to Cash, combining two apps and providing your customer with totally business flow, as we call it, end-to-end business process, or process as a service. And this is just the starting of the journey, because we are going to continue to develop and to provide you with such process as a service in other different areas that we have, both within CRM, old apps, but also operations. So you can just start with which app you want today. You can start with operations, and when your business is growing, you can just add more and more apps to this, combining them in a flow. The tool that we are doing that, the tool that we are doing that is actually the Power Apps. And I heard also mentioning the common data model. The common data model is actually the back end of the Power Apps. And just to continue with this process, I want to tell you that this is not just the flow that we are providing within sales and operation, but also it's the data synchronization. Let me give you another example. We talk about, as I understood, about IoT, and everybody knows about IoT today. It's becoming bigger and bigger. And also, if you see as the statement here, at the end of 2020, we are going to have 20.8 billion devices that are going to be connected. So what has this to do with operations? I can give you another example. And this is actually the standard example from Dynamics AX production. You have the machines, you have the description in machines, and you can store these in the work centers and also in resources in Dynamics AX operations today. But this is actually almost all you have about machines. Imagine what it is to provide your shop floor worker with an app that he or she can see and follow up which was the repair. When was my machine repaired for the last time? What was the error on that? Also, what is the oil pressure? All this information which you actually don't store in your operations. So this is also part of Power Apps and the common data model tool that we are providing with Dynamics 365. And I think this is very, very exciting because working almost 19 years deploying Dynamics AX, I know how difficult it is for our customer, difficult it was to provide actually a functionality like that, or just extend the operations, the functionality in operations, because then you need to involve a developer. You need to provide a specification, a documentation, how it's going to be done. Now you can do that with your super users at the company without writing any line of code. So I think this is a very exciting, isn't it? I just want to stress out one very important message. Even we are providing a lot of changes within transformation and operations today. One thing that it's very, very important to take away with you is that we are not changing the business process model, the business logic within operations today. So we still have our industry solutions. We still have our horizontal workloads, and this is something that is a strong message to our customer, which has all the version of Dynamics today. We are not changing the business logic. It's still something that you are going to recognize as it was before. But what we are doing, we actually continue our extraordinary journey to implement and to update the application with more and more features, which actually you can see the roadmap from Dynamics 2009 via 2012, all the versions, and today in Dynamics AX, which is operations today. So we are filling in almost all of the functional areas today, and we are going to continue to do that in terms of, for example, order promises, distribution planning, transport management, and more of it. This is just a screenshot from operations as it is today, and the most important thing that we talk about is how all these components of the Microsoft Cloud are actually connected, and you can use them today directly from your workspace. And workspaces are actually the main entry point. It's very important. It was a little bit like role centers before, but it's much more updated to provide a specific user which has a specific role within the organization with all the daily tasks that he or she may need to perform today, and also to review the people that she or he may be working with. We also have the embedded Power BI, also an important component from the Microsoft Intelligent Cloud. You don't need to leave the workspace in order to get information how I'm doing today, what is important for me, and what kind of action I can take with the information coming from Power BI. And of course, we have the browser today, which allows us to access actually the application from any devices. Also, imagine how important it is to get the system easy to use for any which are new in the organization. Imagine how much money all organization, like the customer, is actually need to spend in order to provide the training for the new user, to show them what it is in the application. Now we are extending the task recorder with task guides. So you can see that it's a task actually a bubble which is showing you where to click and how to proceed. And this is adapted exactly for the processes that you are going to do within the organization. So this bubble is going to follow you just through the whole process, showing you how to do, what to do, and where to click. I would like to stress out also that besides all this news that we have today and implementing, and they're ready in the latest release of operations, we also continue to investment in the fall release. There is a lot of news that you can follow up what's happening. One of the things which I would like to show is the retail scale unit in store. So what it is, this is actually a hybrid solution which allows the retailers to operate with or without connection to internet, because we know how important it is, for example, for retailers, but not only for retailers, that they have to continue to run the business even if they don't have connection to internet. That's why we are providing the tool, and all the operations can run as usual, and once the connection is again up and running, all the data is going to be synchronized in the cloud. One other very important news that we have, this is actually the product recommendation also. I'm going to show some little bit screenshots on that. But product recommendations is also for the retailer to get a meaningful conversation with the customer, because the customer orientation today and the customer focus is very important with for example, for the retailer. We also have a Power Apps connector, which I show a little bit how you can use it for this prospect to cash process, but also you can use it with other data sources. So you can just pull data from the different data sources and show the information on the app, which you can place on an app source without writing a single line of code. We also has data migration for Dynamics 2009 for the fall release. We also providing a new Power BI content packs. We are adding more workspaces, and also something that is very, very important is actually that we are providing the advanced store warehousing. I don't know how many of you have been working with advanced warehouse in 2012 in operations, but everybody knows that we had a huge gap within the retail, because these two functionality need to be connected. Now this is done. So it's also very important feature. We also recognize the importance that customer is on the data. A customer only decides who is going to access the data. That's why we are providing a new tool called Key Vault, which gives the customer opportunity to decide how and who is going to access the data. So let me show you just a simple product recommendation print screen from POS. Imagine the scenario that the customer is walking in the store and they are pulling out the item or the product they are interested in and going to pay it. Then also the sales representative can with help of machine learning, just see what are the suggested products which customer are interested in and just starting a meaningful conversation. This is really a customer service. We also have another possibility using machine learning, that the customer is in the store and maybe looking at some product which they wish and they put also on the wish list, that the sales representative can approach them and start a conversation about this item and not only describe the item which they are interested in, but also put and bring some information which the sales representative knows that the customer is very keen to understand. In terms, for example, for this TV set, what is the support, what is the installation, what is the warranty, and how it's going to be delivered. And this is also the new Power BI content pack for the human capital management that we are providing as well. Now we are continuing to work on the roadmap for the languages and country localizations. And country localization which are included very soon is going to, for the CEE, for the Central and Eastern Europe, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Russia also is coming later. So this is a continuous work that we are investing in all the time. I also want to stress out, now I missed that slide, there is a roadmap, I can send you the link afterwards, the roadmap for the Dynamics 365, where you can just go on the browser and you can click for operations and you can see the new roadmap, which is divided in 3 different sections. What is in development, what has been released, and what is new. So you can just use the whole application for the whole Dynamics 365, but you can just click on operations to see in details what is new. And there is a lot of new stuff which I recommend that you can browse and see what they are. I just want to show you, because we have the product, yes, of course, the operation, but also how it's going to be deployed. With the Dynamics 365 and the cloud, there is a lot of conversation today. How we are going to do, how is the cloud going to change our life and our implementation, which is maybe new or maybe existing one. And this is actually one of the things that I want to stress out, that Microsoft is the only company in the world which are providing you with all this flexibility, which I'm starting. The first one is actually the public cloud. I'm not going through all of this, but one of the scenarios which are suitable for the public cloud customers is when they want to lease Dynamics AX and the infrastructure which are required in order to operate. So Microsoft is managed all of this, and the customer is worried only about their business processes. The second option is the public cloud. Through the Microsoft Dynamics, all these 100+ centers. And this option could be available or could be suitable for the customer which needs to access to their infrastructure. They have a large-scale scenarios in terms of technical terms, SQL, but they have a large-scale scenarios. This could be an option for them. And also the third option, which is actually the private cloud, which is the option for customer who needs to be disconnected from the public cloud. But still I want to point it out that it's important that you can have access to your infrastructure, but you can still use the add-ons for Microsoft Cloud, which give you options to actually enjoy the Power BI, the disaster recovery, and also all the updates which are coming from Microsoft. Very important message. So we know how important it is, the cloud, and in all its forms. That's why I would like to share a little bit what are the investments area today that Microsoft is doing around the cloud. We understand that the best of cloud and premises should be in place as a component that we are actually investigating and also put a lot of effort in our strategy. This is, for example, the retailer who wants to continue to run the operations even if they don't have connection to the internet. So this is important for our customer. That's why the combination of on-premise and cloud is important also for us. Also, we are investigating how we can improve what are the features which are dividing the public and the private cloud. Could we work together somehow so we can provide one service which serves these two different options? We also continue to develop Dynamics 365 for operation, both in terms of languages, country localizations, features, and we are also going to support our customer out there which are on premises. And I don't know if you heard, but this is just fresh announced. Let me just load the picture about our investment in the hybrid solution. This is very, very much new, but it's going to give you an idea how we are going to solve the hybrid solution for operations, for example. In that case, you can imagine that it's a big company. A customer has maybe different operation sites. One could be, for example, the retail store in Australia. It could be also the shop floor in UK. You can have also data centers in Russia. So we are picking and taking out from Dynamics 365 for operation the most critical processes. These critical processes are, for example, retail store, shop floor, warehouse, and all other solutions. And we are putting them in the hybrid solution, but with connection to the cloud in terms of data aggregation, analysis, financial processes, intercompany, and also you get all the disaster recovery and much, much more. So important that we are investigating and we are continue to develop our hybrid solution. And as you see, the retail store is pretty much ready to be released. The shop floor process, the warehouse, they are coming later 2017, and all other applications within, or other features within Dynamics for Operations is coming also 27. Okay, I told you that I've been doing a lot of deployment of Dynamics 2012, and also actually from the first version of Dynamics, which was 1.5. And I know how difficult it is before Lifecycle Services, how difficult it was to do this deployment. And I'm not going to tell you all about these difficult projects, but just picking one simple example. Imagine that you are deploying Dynamics 2012. Then you have requirements, maybe in Word format. You also have the gap fit analysis. It could be in Word, it could be in Excel. You also have the FDD, TDD. This means functional design document, a technical design document, also maybe in Word. You have also all your business processes, which are in Visio. You also have certain flows that you can use. And you can imagine all this documentation which are popping up on the SharePoint site, and you need to think, how shall I name them? In order to find them very quickly and in order to use them together, because these processes and this documentation, they are connected. You need them in your deployment. And also on the top of that, you have the whole project lead process also as well. So this was a lot of risk and a lot of cost. Now we have the Lifecycle Services, and I know that a lot of our partners, but also customers, they maybe need to update their knowledge about Lifecycle Services. So this is actually the collaboration tool, which have a lot of features. So please just look at what you can get with Lifecycle Services, and also push your partners to help you with that, because in terms of Lifecycle Services, you gain a lot of money, you gain a lot of effort, and you're going to be much proactive in your deployments. So I'm not going to go through all the Lifecycle Services solutions. I just wanted to show you just a summarization build of what it is, because the normal actually deployment, it looks like that. You start with the hardware, the software, the system configuration, application configuration, data, and test. With Lifecycle Services, you can just shrimp all of these steps in single one. You can use your own project methodology, and you're providing with ready-to-use processes that you can either use as they are, or you can just modify and adapt to your business today. And one very important message about it, it's that it's customer controlled. You're not losing control over your application. Do remember that. This is a very strong message for our customers. You can decide when the production environment should be updated. You can roll back also all your changes that you've done if you see that something is going wrong. And Microsoft is managed that. Microsoft is doing and helping this work on your order. So it's a very strong message to understand that you are not losing any kind of control whatsoever. And like I said, this was the Dynamics 365 roadmap, which you can just maybe write down or get through the internet and see how it's structured today, because you can learn about all the news which are coming to the whole Dynamics 365, but also through Dynamics 365 for operations. And also, this is a huge advantage today. I cannot help to compare how it was before, because before you're waiting that some update will come, you're looking for that, you see what is coming up, what is the new functionality. Now we have everything together on one simple site. And this is just stress out what you can start talking about when deploying Dynamics 365 for operation, in terms of what your company characteristics are, and you can start talking with the partners or the people who are helping you with deployment. For example, if you are a company which have very strong growth, that you performing a lot of acquisitions, that you can start this conversation how we can actually do the deployment with choice of flexibility in the cloud. What is pay as you go? What is that? If you are a company with a specialized processes, then you can also start a conversation. What is the customer control that Microsoft managed that I showed you before through the Lifecycle Services? This is just a proposal to get, because it's a journey. I understand that, and it's important for you to feel comfortable, to feel that you have control on the situation. And I just want to share some stories with you. This is a picture of our customer which are implementing Dynamics 365 operation today. They are all over the world. And I just want to tell you that we are a company with 100+ data centers, and which have the top 3 network in the world. So do remember that we have Asia for many years, so I don't even want to talk about the security. Our partner is going to touch on that. But we have experience in security on the cloud, and we are building and continue to building our data centers. So let me go through a specific customer for example. We have Assa Abloy, a Swedish company. I'm located in Stockholm. So it's been a lot of publishing about this customer who has ERP with a number of legacy systems that needs to be integrated. Well, they implemented Dynamics 365 today, cutting their IT costs and also doing it with a single instance of the system. We also have Dell. The Dell is a manufacturing company, and they also, as is stated here, that they manage almost 1 million transactions per day, also implementing Dynamics AX, Asia, and SharePoint and Windows, of course. And we have also the Umbre Group, the same. This is the company which is which not only implemented Dynamics X, but they also moved to the cloud, having totally a different view on their business because they have access to the Power BI. And one other company, which is a Fridays, also on Dynamics 365, they're using a lot the easy to user interface, which is suitable for all the users. Also one of our customers, and also the Renault Sport Racing. This is one of the customers which is I love to show, because you can imagine how important and how quick their parts should be coming up in the process, because they're actually using parts which are losing validity in very short time. So you can imagine that implementing manufacturing for Dynamics for operations, it's really helped them with the master planning to perform this quick access to the parts that they need today. I had only 1.5 hours, so I'm done with that. So if you have any questions about 365, about cloud, about Power BI, or common data model, or anything.
Thank you so much for the quick overview. So until there is a question, I want to ask that describe a little bit that there is one powerful option to create workflows without basically single code. That's something incredibly new. So how you feel? You have been in this, like you said, 19 years. So do you see that really customers will go and start to build their flows?
Yes, absolutely. And this is, for me, this is very exciting. Actually, I saw a movie or a video on Microsoft SharePoint, and I did that by myself. It's take about an hour if you just need to read all the instructions, and it's very nice guiding. But also what I want to tell you, that it's the Power BIs and the apps that you can build, this is not replacing the ERP. If you need to modify your business logic in the system, something, for example, that the purchase order need to be changed, then you're still going to use development. It's important to understand. So we are not replacing the CRM or ERP. We are adding a functionality. You're adding, extending this functionality without seeing a line of code. And you can just try it. Actually, it's on the internet. You can just go and try it by yourself, because the main idea is that you are defining the entities. You can define, for example, the customer entity, which are coming from operations, and the customer entity which are coming from sales, which is part up from CRM. And then you can pull out the data from all of these from the CRM and sales and from operation, and you can present it in a very nice way on the app. You can just show what are the quotes. You can show what is the sales order over there. You can even also email the sales order, even print the sales order. This kind of functionality is also coming now. So try it. It's available on the internet.
That's really exciting. And if I think what you said and what also previously showed by Alan, that we're actually now entering into the world where the CRM and ERP is united. So we could say that having a CRM as a separate system and ERP as a separate system, this is yesterday. So this is so yesterday. So you should never consider anything to do like this anymore. So you just need to take Dynamics 365. I think that's a very exciting time. I think one more what I have been seeing is hugely rising the questions is the Cortana. So adding something which is the basically artificial intelligence into the dynamic system. That's are we all ready for it?
Yes, absolutely, and there is a lot of documentation about Cortana as well. There is also a small videos how Cortana can change our life. There is, for example, a new user, or maybe it's not a user, but he or she is creating a purchase order, and then Cortana could tell you, you can maybe put, instead of 10 quantity, put maybe 20, because you have a sales order which is waiting as a demand. And if you don't put the 20 quantity, you're going to be out of your inventory very soon, maybe next week. So this kind of machine learning and helping you in the business, the daily business, I think it's worth a lot.
Absolutely, and I think this will be the reality, and I can't wait that within 3-5 years we actually with Cortana replace some of the people who do pretty simple manual transactions in computer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Is there any questions from audience? We are very shy all in Estonia, so...
Yeah, but I just want to add that do remember, and it's a strong message, that you can start with what you want. You don't need to start with a whole bunch of package. Start what you need. Start with small and just test it. The same is with the Lifecycle Services. There is a site also, and I can provide all the links if you need it to afterwards, after the meeting. But you can just go and see and do the breakdown on the Asia cost. What is going to cost you if you just add the development environment, for example, on Asia? Start with development environment. It's pretty innocent, and also you can test it and show what are our needs. Do we actually saving money starting with that? And shall we proceed with maybe a development, a test, maybe a production? So it's all the options are there. Start with what you need and start so you can feel comfortable.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.